The time is 5:05 p.m., October 12th, Saturday afternoon, year 2024. So I am to report the Christian terrorists I ID'd and witnessed them passing by the premises and in front of the residence. Right during and right after, another biological agent, a biological chemical attack. However, the good guys want to call it's a bioweapon. The Christian mob that is in Washington, D.C. are all bona fide, verified, proven, classified in military where I can't go on bases, but these bros go in and out on bases, so on and so forth, okay? The Christian terrorists are classified, this Christian group here, as terrorists. There is a Christian mob here ushering in prayer groups to pray for Donald to be elected, okay? Donald Trump is one of the presidents who was arrested for this Iranian ISIS terror compound, okay? All right. Donald Trump arranged with J.D. Vance, a mob of Christian, they're terrorists, to come to Washington, D.C. I just witnessed one of their ops. Right before I was hit with the bioweapon, it's fucking gory what that shit does to me. But I'm okay, all right? Let's get to what I witnessed. Right before, no, this isn't all that I witnessed in here. Far from it. I'm only allowed to say a few things that happened inside this property and outside this property during the biological weapons attack. All right. Right before, like 1 minute before, the Iranian prostitute, the hooker, went in and out of that yard, the backyard. She's scattering around like a cockroach. It was like flaming neon colors, fucking criminal activity. She's sprinting around in the backyard. Then she goes to the right by where they do that run. I've witnessed it. The good guys know all about this. It's really serious, that constructed back door. I haven't filmed it. I'm forbidden from filming it again. Oh, it's fucking obvious if you could see this shit. Then she goes there on her property line of 1507 and she knocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, knock. And then she knocks again on her property, on her structure, right by property line, right by that constructed back door. Then she knocks again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She does 2 rounds of consecutive hard knocks. By the second knock, she goes, woo, really loud. And that's when they hit me with the biological weapons attack. At that point, Jesus said, go, go, go. Go out. I want you to go outside. You're clear. He actually told me he wanted me to go out to the front door before this happened. Remember, I'm in here alone. I'm communing with Jesus. To these Christian terrorists, they get jealous of that, but that's okay. So I get detailed instructions by Jesus that would just blow your mind. I know some people are really fascinated by that. Yeah, well, it's true. I do. So right before they did all this, the scampering in the backyards, the knocking, the woohoo, she did this fucking shit. And then the bio attack. Right before that, Jesus said, I want you to go outside. I want you to go downstairs. I want you to see something in the front yard. I was like, what? Okay. Because I had been forbidden from leaving my bedroom for a minute or two. We know what happens here. This stash, and I heard that female die earlier today. I know what I heard. I can't talk about that again. It's like the walkie-talkie when the cop went down upstairs. I can't talk about it. It's once and done. You want to hear about it? Watch the video that I put up. I can't repeat the stuff and things I witnessed in here over and over. Okay, so point is, so I knew something was going on. Out of nowhere, I'm getting green light, guidance from God. I want you to go downstairs, yada yada. I'm just sitting here, he's subconscious, however it is, this communing I do. Okay, and then all that hell broke out with this prostitute. She does all the New York NYPD. This is New York State big time. There, somebody's got to tell the public. I'll do another video of what's coming to the United States because Pentagon and Joe Biden, who's also arrested, they're not telling the public what's coming. I'll do that in another video. Okay, the second one right after this. Let's just stay on point because I want to do this in 14 minutes. So I knew there was all of a sudden all this going on in this compound that I was allowed to engage in instead of staying out, sheltering in place, don't get involved. I'm suddenly going to play a role here. So I realized that. And then I realized once she went woohoo and did her series of knocking on her property in that hot zone down there, I got hit so hard with the bioweapon. And this is what was fascinating. He had me go downstairs and ID those Christians, this a heavy, big group of Christians. I'll talk about it next, walking by. And then he had me go into the dining room before I could even go to diarrhea. And I needed to go diarrhea. So I just want this to get over to any research scientist. Me and my guidance from Jesus is intense. My actions come before my body when it comes to these bio and chemical weapons. He's not worried about me. I don't get that impression. And then, he's right because I'm just fine after, dude. He's right, although it's really scary and your body is really sick. I'm fucking just fine afterwards. Don't ask me how. Okay, no, I'm not making any of this up. It's a little bit too scary in this fucking property and this compound to be making up stories here. I'm just saying that for the sake of it. Okay, so then I'm down there and I'm in the dining room at that point. You can hear all the Christians as they pass, this group of Christian terrorists. Okay, we'll get to that later. They finally go, but you can hear them. They're just so loud, okay? And then there's this bashing and banging from a private construction site. As soon as I went into the dining room, out of nowhere, there's a construction site that wants to make themselves whereabouts, everything very, very known. Boom, boom, boom. Then, okay, so, all right. It seemed to me because I was in the dining room. It seemed to me, I'm not trying to tiptoe. I'm running around. I'm about to diarrhea all over myself. I'm not being fucking quiet. I'm just going to say that, okay? So I go into the dining room. I come back. And then he says, go get that mail, that letter from the USPS to you. It's addressed to you, a USPS. I didn't know I had USPS mail. USPS is on their own recognizance sending me mail. Okay, so I got that. All right, that was what I did. And then I saw before that, I saw the it's like a gang of Christian terrorists all walking past the house. Then I finally was able to go up and diarrhea and get the poison out. It was so much diarrhea. It's so gory and gruesome and brutal and painful what they do to me that I had to wash up again in the bathtub. I also want to say when the construction popped off on floor 1, they hit me again with the bioweapon. I know it. I can feel it. So I got it in my room with the Iranian Hooker and the Christian terrorist group that was walking by. And then I got it with the construction site. Boom, boom. I got it down there when I went down there. So they're using chemical weapons and biological weapons on floor 1 and floor 2. I know that because I'm being hit with it. There's no question about that. And they got the Iranian Hooker. She's making herself and her whereabouts real known. She wants to be a celebrity. I'm forbidden from filming them. So I can report this. I was surprised, but I can. And I need to tell the public about the Christian convention here. It's not quite classified as a convention. It's this obscure group of Christians. They've amassed in the thousands. Trump has brought them here. Let me plug my ears. The city's rancid. They're all classified as Christian terrorists. There's not one in the gang, not one in these groups, not one in these hotels, not one in these motels that's staying around here that's not classified as a Christian terrorist. They're in a Christian terror cult. In fact, it's a cult. It's so intense with the gospel and the God that it's when the actual good guys deal with individuals like this, it's a cult like Waco, Texas, and cults like that. They're violent. They'll do violence to anyone else. They'll say God inspired them to do it. And it's all based on white supremacy. Every bit of it. The white Christian terror group here, I know they have their gang of black people with them. That is here. That is here nor there. The term of speech, here nor there. That doesn't matter. They are a white Christian terror group that came here. While I was hit with biological weapons, I witnessed a gang of them. There was at least 10, easy. They were all overweight, looked like they were from middle America, South Dakota, places like that. They were all white. They were incredibly loud. So loud it would be compared to like a group of partying, reveling college students. Just out of nowhere, they're just rampaging past the house in a group of 10 of these white Christian terrorists, screaming their heads off, just hollering, partying. And so the special forces saw all that. This is all on surveillance. And then that Iranian Hooker did her thing in the backyard, knocking, and the biological attack happened in here. So these Christian terrorists are no different. Let me just tell the public. Then I can't say her name as pissed as I am and as much as I'd like to. I have relatives, more than one, who are Christian terrorists. I can name names, I can name years, I can name locations, I can name churches. Yeah, yes, I can say a lot about my own relatives. So these people to me who just storm past the house, oh, I know how violent and fucking dangerous they are. Okay, I do. So that's who just stormed past the house, claiming to be Christians for Trump, praying to God that God gets Trump elected. No. I'll do video 2 of what happens, what God has planned. Because of Donald Trump, because of Joe Biden, because of Kamala Harris, because of Bill Clinton, and Hillary Clinton. I'll tell you what God has willed for the United States of America. You have heard it before, but I need to tell the public because Joe Biden's government and Vladimir Putin running the freaking media isn't telling the public. I've been sitting here sworn off the internet. I've got seconds left before it's minute 14. Worried about the public, the 46% of the United States population. They that have no idea what's going on, and it's the war is starting. So there's all this construction. I got to plug my ear. I'll do another video. I'll title it so it's very clear, and you will at least have had some forewarning of what's coming. Okay, goodbye.